Well, I'm back, sadly, back on the TEAC 2000M. It's been working brilliantly for the last couple of months, and then just all of a sudden it started with the old fault of the tape lifting off the heads. And I thought, oh, what? So I did the usual thing. I had a tweak of the tension adjustment on the side there, and it didn't really help, which shocked the hell out of me. I thought, what? But this is what fixed it in the first place, was getting that, basically the back tension to be sufficient to hold the tape across the heads. But this time it just wasn't enough. So anyway, what I did, I now have a Tentalometer, which I didn't have at the time. And basically what that does is it measures the tension on the tape here and here, position A and position B, and if it's too much or not enough, it'll cause issues. Anyway, I used that and adjusted it to what it should be, which is about 50 grams centimetre there, 50 grams centimetre there, which is odd. I thought they'd be unequal, but no, they're meant to be both 50, and with equal size tape on each reel, you're meant to get between 100 and 120 grams centimetre torque there on rewind, and 100 to 120 grams centimetre torque on this in fast forward. So using that, and I got it to be right, but it's not working right. So this leaves me with only a couple of options, really, now that I know that they're meant to be right, and that is the position of these little arms is somehow not right, although it's hard to see how they're not. But the other one is that the tension of the pinch rollers onto the heads is not correct, and I find that if I pull this one away, the tape comes into contact, as to be expected, because this is then the only one dragging it through, and this one isn't pushing it through, because what's happening is this is pulling, this is pushing, but this one's pushing, I guess, too much, or this one isn't pulling enough, which what suggested me that these tensions weren't correct, but they're about right. So I suspect that the tension of these pinch rollers is, especially on the supply capstan, is too much, and it's pushing it through too much, and the torque of the tape isn't able to overcome it. This is the trouble with this design. Now in the manual it says it doesn't use that design. It says that it uses a larger speed on this capstan compared to this one, but I can't see how that is true. It specifically says in the manual, oh, we do this with a larger one here and a smaller one here, so that it provides better tension across the heads, and we don't use the tape tensioning as a method like previous models. But I scratch my head and go, what? It's almost like it's the other way round. Now, the only way to be sure of that is to actually measure the diameter of each of the capstans here and there, and also the flywheels on the back, and measure their diameters. I wish I had have done that earlier, but I didn't think of it. To get a micrometer or the other meter in there to measure the diameters is not easy, but I might give it a try. But there is an adjustment for this amount of torque that goes onto these, but yeah, see, you can see that. So the other possibility is that the rubbers are dirty or something like that, but I don't know about that. they feel pretty good. Anyway, that's the issue for the moment, but before we try and discover about these, I'll demonstrate the Tentalometer. Okay, this is it here. That's the manual for it. Tental tape tips, blah blah blah. Now this particular model is not the usual one, but it's still good. This is model T2 H15 SLC. Now the H15 I think means that it goes up to 15 ounces. Now of course I don't use ounces range, that's ridiculous. We use the grams, and on this dial 50 is about a third of the way, and 100 to 120 is halfway, which is the range I need. Right, so let's try it. I'll manoeuvre this so that you can see it. Right, now the reels are a little bit uneven at the moment, but I don't think it should matter too much. Right, now the idea is it's hard to get the little knives onto it. It's there we go. It's a shame it's so difficult. Right, hopefully you can see that. Now when I press play, I've got to make sure I've got a good grip on it. See, it's about there. That's 50 there, 50 there, so it's just perfect. Right, now we'll do the rewind. Actually, we'll turn the music down. So now, as I say, the hardest bit is getting these prongs onto the tape easily. I wish they'd separated them ever so slightly just at the tip so that you can feed it on, but no. Alright, let's go again. Press play, and we're reading a little bit higher, sort of 70, which is there. 50's down here, so 70. Oh, that's not too bad. As I said, the tapes aren't equal size, but anyway, we'll do a bit of fast forwarding, and you'll see what the measurement is. Right. See that? Righto. So let's go fast forward. The main thing is that the in the play state that they're both around about 50 grams centimetre. Just grams, I think. Yeah, just grams. That's how that's done. So now I have to go into the head assembly, check those roller tensions. There is a centre adjustment for doing that from memory, and but first, before I do that, I'm going to clean the heads, clean the rollers, just to make sure that that's not causing a problem. Okay, now I cleaned the heads and it did make a slight improvement, and there was a lot of gunk on there, so I thought it might have been sort of gripping it a bit the tape too much or something. But when I put on this tape that brought up this problem, was still doing it. And so, as I said, the next thing to do was to look at the tension of the pinch rollers. And I remember when I did it, the measurement seemed okay. It's a mechanical measurement, 1 millimetre or something. But I thought, that means pulling it apart and doing some mechanical measurements. And I thought, no, I'll just wing it. And there's an adjustment for the tension for the two pinch rollers that go up. And there's a big long arm that comes up here, and there's a nut up here. There's two of them actually. The one on the left side is the position of the pause. The pinch roller is meant to stop at a certain point when in pause. That's I think it's I'm guessing 1.5 millimeters from the capstan, but anyway, the other one on the right hand side over here is the tension, which is the main tension for the two of them coming up. And so what I did is I got my little nut screwdriver and put it in there and turned it until it came good. Basically what I did, I loosened it, and I went so far that the tape stopped, which means that of course the tension from each of the reels is equal, and there's nothing to move the tape through. So then just increased it back up a bit until we got some action. And of course, if I kept increasing the tension back up to where it was, it would then start looping the tape across the heads, and which means that the two pinch rollers are gripping the tape so well that it's doing its own thing and ignoring the tensions. The idea of the tensions is, I believe, is to slightly take away the grip of each of these. Yeah, I know it's a stupid idea, but so these are lightly gripping it and providing the actual speed, but with that lightness of grip, each side is pulling it either way. 50 grams either side. So the thing is, we need that tension on each side to be able to basically pull the tape away from each of the pinch rollers. It's a balancing act of the pinch rollers having enough grip on the tape to have the right speed without slipping, and the other one is too much, and then the tape can't be dragged out either rewind or fast forward side to provide tension across the heads. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to figure it out myself, and so I think that's the balancing act, and I will. It's now sort of working okay on the really bad tape, but I will play a lot more tapes, and before I put the back cover back on. It's just as well I didn't put the back cover on yet. There's always something. So if this is something that has to be done every now and again, readjusting the tension of the pinch rollers, I may have to rethink the mechanics in here and go back and have a much firmer look. They say in here that there's no adjustments and that you have to replace parts. Well, I mean, bugger that. How's that going to help? It's sounds like it's just an inadequacy of the design. I really wish they had done in the manual, actually in the machine, that is a faster pinch roller on the take up and a slower pinch roller on the feed. If they had have done that, as it says in the manual, it wouldn't have this problem. But no, it's relying upon the tension of each side to provide proper tension across the heads. That's, as I said, that's a balancing act between the tension either side and the tension of the, or I should say the spring pressure of the two capstans going up. And fortunately there's an adjustment for that. Now, I did calibrate my tentalometer. I thought, all too difficult, so I'll calibrate it. I calibrated it with the 1 ounce weight, and I got a section of 1/4 inch tape and used that. And yeah, it was different to how it was before, but in essence I don't think it really made a huge difference to the tensions that I had. But anyway, they're now sort of properly calibrated and running at 50 grams either side, and I actually did the fast forward and rewind as well, running at 100 to 120 grams. One of them was flat chat on the adjustment, so it could be that one of the motors is a little bit slow, but it doesn't matter, it still works okay. Doesn't matter if one of the speeds, fast forward or rewind, is maybe a little bit slower. Doesn't really matter, so long as the play works, and it is. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to pack it up now, put the faceplate back on over the heads, and run a few test tapes, and hopefully that will be the end of it. Until the next time. Right, hooroo.